show boy. Now one bit of or vice president. Numene legimony edumo wamangana here ni afoshiki ane wapafai wonime watame wanyeme wamamime ne ama jeme jambo ni mapa me nutu ofe amefe afaba he afaba na shamo papa le ba hie ayawo kaji mo pa te hie wo le na ka wa musu da masate efe ni ba se buka mi fu eda mi sha le ko eda ni yomo le ba hie aboda tui tuwo wo so le male ni ka je ba e ba kai wo e kai ma ja chemi e kai ma nyemi e kai o so fo e kai media fo e kai police fo e kai soldier fo na brema ma bi fe kai ya brema ma cheme ye ma ni wa tubiane ahe e wale ya ma ja chema ni e ba le mi chemi na ka shi Majo cheme sane ketumo. Osafo sane ketumo. No wo fia mo e wale de ni e bobo de ni akena. Majo cheme shigo wo dana. Wo lo shigo na. Wo de ni wo shigo na sho. Shi de ko ka sane de ko te. Ko ti e fe na ni. Shi ni na ba ni e. No ji ni de ko te. E yo ko. Shi ka ji akeshipo sane ba ma che. Ma te le shigo. Mo fia mo na akeshipo ne. Machane no mi ano siko jini yo cafe aye satie mo shibiane teji ko siko de koto akasa mi be no ana asho osimo lord ka fe no ke to tramo ka ba ke da ga ne ke shikaji ala ke siko ne bono mi na ke siko bono mi e da ga go be go be ke da te da sie na si na ka siko ne o si machino Shaka ko do na na me je o be je ne wa ne won o so dale ni eje ni won ni e ba tas no e ba tas sen won e ba ta chero fiano e ba ta je kana ni bi fe e ba ta je kana ni bi fe na won bi so le muhane won bi so le e hale won ni atumase won ni aka e ka fo shiki e nkuriye ni afe no kete ni la bosa ya ko suro ko aka kese afa pasa se ja tela kamo yo saka atapo no kai fu afe jo fu afe kama twa na ameta ni ameka ya na ameta ba ni apo sha be na ata shi be no fe ajo kaje ya ni afa kampie na church fella ya wa bi ama me fe to le ku lo ko ni ani am yi na me kama ya e fe la ba she yo mo aya o cha no me nya ba
aba oyo don yo ayeko gbogbo na che o fi fe yo be wo sofo yi o ma jera cheme o vice president ke AG ame phone ni aka mbasmo ni ame ke ko mo dia cheme ko mo dia ne asafo a cheme ke iko ko benefita e ke wo sofwe pana ni yo akuchu game ape ni ikene akasa ake ni wo ba emi ahia wo alo emi adabo ame ko wo bagbe ake wo papa Niji the Sempe chief Sempe Manche Niji the warrior king Ni Otito the third Adote Otito the second She if you back here no confuse wo ina eba fitawe ni wo ba bi ene e an wole ake e ye moni ka ibe edomo ese oduba e yo mo fe yo mo ni akwachule e han ni ko papa ni le so e wo be wo papa ni adute okuji ama e first ni di Sempe kolebu manche mankralo le tami ba wo papa okay aleno Mokoya na wo papa ya bi ike wo papa ye omowo ya shia na no bi ye e de ba wo no ko papa no ko nice no ko beautiful ni ike papa ba phone ni ayini wo ngane no ko keke ni echi ma kaji na kan ko e ifita wo ye die ka wo ba bi ele mu e saka wo ni wo tie wo yi shike chone ona fi ni ke ale no wo kenye ape nenye chewo ke wo pe gama bi e wo yi kwe o chewo na kan pe be to o begbe wo na kan no wo lu pa ri obi e o fi amo ke be na wo wo be maji ame ishi matone keni o ba mi be matone kuni maji won ba ishi ato e ba do oblayu fefo ni yo individual na gbe mo NPP anampuano is a sermon lewu da so mane no we mimi edua fitawo deputy national women organizer ino chamo beni NPP bele ake won contest mo fi amaba contest ko ni dromo afi wo papa Dr. Endorse Bawumia ni ewi ni meko ko ni fitaye be monicha nyame yuweri introduce fitaye igbe ji be kojo poku nsafua honorable ifita meko wa papa ike around say Ghana na ko che lawyer foi no ma no chele ke fitaye ucha ko lawyers ebo e model ojuba igbe chichukwu oli iba ya bonu ba je ke oyi pe egbe no po lo ke oli da depo iba ele bodo Honorable Frank Davis le won the vita agone chuchuko aye meyo she na aye meyo ni kenibi baba o bagan collègue no que mon professeur Sandile et Sandini former mayor bene Kyoche Council of States onupa efita wo diete wo papa Stanley ni Ajiri Lansi be kama tekeke ya sebe we isake fio na kan dani be mache wo papa Chuchu Minister of Fisheries, Leno Chuchu Member of Parliament in Crow, Honorable Elizabeth Afuli Lemu Ifitawe. Ke Ojeleno be Wajamiyu ni Lemu Eje North ni be Dane no Atosile ke Ihanle Mike de Yue be to wacha kigbe bo la yile. Legit Maslock, Chief Executive Officer, Shani Honorable Abibata. Agbele wajemiyo lewuke ote okankwe North. Ebo modern national communication ifitawe. Beni akele Legit Honorable Ifiakutu lewu ifita okale. Agbele wachuchu Greater Accra we anabua ni wachole women organizer leumbe Dangbebi Joyce Konoki Zilpari lewu ifitawe agbele woye wachoko lawyers shenele choko lawyer eaje wejagbawe ni Legit NPP parliamentary candidate wejagbawe egbe atakomo ne hina ke magia cheme ke magia nyemefe ina imishe ina ke be ESLP aduba to mbeni miyomi Jabri Ahmed Shaibu on Choko lawyer agbere wanyamiyo let's see boy in na wo efita campaign team for candidates. And I was a Shia, a boy, mother Ojuba, you ni yewa e shishimbo ne benelo shishile bo motwe oduba eye musunchon mamini appelé comment stene nya fon shikiale nya fon ale e kan no tumo ne ba tumo e bekuna e kwaye ake ye ba wale ko ni e gbe na kan tumo na wa mamine se pefe no ko na ba tele ni ba e ke sempe le sempini o sofo e tele no ko ne ba e ke o sofo asane le sande Romonani NPP ba fellow Minister of Communication and Digitalization, mother of Ablekuma West Honorable Osla Ousu Obufu. Yo never know, hey, be a video water which one. I had the 9 to one of Mr. Bonyantia CSA. Yeah, I need for 4 and I have software. Never. Mufansum, a winner, but Muchu Bibria, as I did. You're calling I can't fake NPP. One no, not a party affair, party and not. Keke party ayaneke mofia mobotui nakayale. The national chairman of the NPP, Honorable Stephen Inti Namu Ifitao. Wanuba ya koko mefita ishiamen doji. Boys are press ame mku laun obie. Yo ake wonye wo fe ni wo fe mene enya no ba ye ke ason dani ke oyemugoshika hamo ko hale mo ba mo ni e ke ojemi ko ye ko ma se ni to e ma de bo e le wo mene ke fe ba e ba go phone le ke ba ni gbe so What papa ne no me Bank of Ghana e yo ne echu eni e modern boy Bank of Ghana e wo President Akufo-Addo ya balale akeba wa mi ate skome e ahi shie no no Ghana bi ni fo shiki ha ni kanye yo makake Leji assistant headmaster ji Nana Adodakwa Akufo-Addo. Eye vice president Shome eye no shino. Eka mambi mokoye ko president ya mane ni da. Mokoye ko vice president ya mane ni da. Na beto bi da to be. Je na chembe ni be gbodo fitai. Sha chembe na ke fe ne ni fe ne ekuba koda. I have the privilege, Keishiba, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, flag bearer of the NPP, and the next President of the Republic of Ghana, Dr. Endorse Bawumia. Chairman, Abu Fabi. Na fufosa kale no yomo eko ya ba cheme nyekeke ya osofu nyekeke ya won kase ni ololo ye yas no yomo ba yomo se kula eko ya ba afro ke aba afro no ye atomi be no ele se cheme mapa fai ke wana be administrator of the SB Sulekoni be maji cheme ni obi sure Yakadichwa Akwera.
Ago Jamaican. You find it much Akani wo machi bibi ame fine wo macha machi here e ka call go just wave she machi cheme ata kendre woni na te anu tete register the chief of staff fresh way bibi woni lu ato mi Benjamin anote akwe sepeno we di sepe administrative secretary Agora ni adotar o que a manage kemple sempre com o buman crano. Agora ni adokwe o katache bere manage kemple sempre no ya manche. Ni ayi dokuni di ete. Sempre we shia ete mi fi sempre ni di sakachu. We. Papa bere ma ke tete kwishi. Sakachu we kunu pa. Ni ba di ni ayi dokuni di ete. Ni mai kon wulu ni sepe apashon che moni chano ni okobarima sepe fe muslim amanche ni adoai adu sepe ochami leno akadi dele ayi manche oto aple ma ni adomensa sepe principal elder when Michael Costin, secretary, she arbitration head of. Anyway, I do. Ni sepe ochami few. Ochami no pa be kwese. Amene money ye buy ka je shishi e be di numo papo oyeni sepe wuro. Oba. Oba. Money chano awon oboto. Awo oboto sepe wa yo e na gbe ni adote odawulu sepe muslim apashonche agone wa maji bibi wo ye bebete Russia many form of Africa West Manchester many Africa West go to Russia man translation akwebu manche agone tembibi ami agone woye nina kwase manche akotema manche mekeje bebe ise bebe niuma lobi kamara manche opete kwe choko manche I'm going to prefer manche. Opete kwe manche kechi. I'm going to dama manche kechi. Yo, the fact that I don't check apa manje. That's what.
Yo ni koi wala do bo de cha ayamale. Yankish family usofue ni iba yaifawa ni ifema kia papu nani a compile ni liste she mofiamo here in Yuake we have the revered clergy yabie or acknowledge ake onani ni nonisa the list ni sake woni ni ashe ni wo papa e fall no wafi ni papa ya ji ifal o wa pa je fa ya ke wo je wa chegbe di efe je kwa ki ija ke wo ke wa chegbe efe usofu ni obi e be wo je ko wona ko wotish ni nyaka mi bangi ija ke ni yo fe mi na ke je musu ni ichi wa ke oya e ra don jo ma fi ni ko eneshe ake oye imbe adabu ami ni mache ke yeshwa mi anya na no oni ba fa igbe ami iha je Olive, Papa Michael, Alekuni, Ikawabasa, Care, Wabana, was software, Jacket and Shian, who bam really evaluating your phone.
Oh, you are done. Tata, go down. I go never gonna me. If you want to do it, she bought me. Where are you?
Your Excellency, the Vice President of Ghana, flag bearer of NPP, Dr. Bawumia, Honorable Member of Parliament of Leguma West, Nime Ename, respected community leaders, and fellow residents of Ablekuma West Municipality, as well as leaders of religious groups. As usual, all other protocols observed. On behalf of Ni Adote Otinto II, Paramount Chief of Sempe and Mankralo of the Ghana State, I warmly welcome you all to this important community meeting held here at Sempe Traditional Council, Dansoma. We are honored to have with us today the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, as well as our hard-working Member of Parliament, Mrs. Ursula Owusu Ekufo, and our revered traditional chiefs. Your presence here is a testament to the commitment and unity of purpose in addressing the needs and aspirations of Ablekuma West. This gathering provides us with a unique opportunity to engage in meaningful dialogue as we work together to shape the future of our community and the nation. We look forward to hearing from our distinguished guests as they share their visions and plans for the development of Ablekuma West and our beloved country, Ghana. May today's discussions be fruitful and serve as a foundation for progress, peace, and prosperity. Thank you all for being here, and once again, a warm welcome to everyone. Thank you. At this point, we would yield the floor to the conveners of this meeting. Thank you.
Welcome address a phone number so apa faike was software ekuye ukuyemo kuni be na me kuni wo pa ifa ye shaba kene ma wo ye kuni wo fina yo ni ene rano re
Thank you very much, sir. It's a great honor today to stand here to receive such great men and to welcome you. I'm Reverend Jerry Uswajina, the First Way Gospel Church, and we want to welcome you, Your Excellency, the very Vice President and the incoming President of Ghana. His Excellency Bawumia. And then we also want to acknowledge our mother, the MP, Honorable Ursula Owusu, and the Chairman of the NPP, Mr. Intim, and And it goes without saying that we also ought to honor and give respect to the chiefs and to the leaders traditionally of this land. So we honor our chiefs, the Nime and the Name. And on behalf of also all the men of God that are here, we want to say welcome to the Asuman community of Abekma West. What God is doing in this land is beautiful. And today, we give glory that in all of your busy schedules, you have found the time to interact with leaders on this land. The community is fast growing, it's fast developing, great things are happening, of which a lot can be attributed to the leadership of our mother, Esla Owusu, and also your administration and the very government of His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo of the New Patriotic Party. It is our prayer that the good Lord who lifts one and also brings down another, in this time and season has found fit, the good Lord will lift you. Amen. And He will place you where the development of this nation will advance under your leadership. Amen. It is our prayer that the Lord would cause these elections to be very peaceful. It will be accepted by all, and God Himself will keep this nation in one piece. Amen. Our prayers are with you, sir, and our love is always with you. Thank you very much. God bless you.
So for God bless you, God bless you, God bless you. Your father, your family, in the share, you fair for Abekma West, Member of Parliament, Honorable Esla Owusu.
Pastors and leaders of the church. Mibanyelo mani. Me mixing kakranti mpamcho mo fancheli. Fa unya find it back. Iwiega, my wiega. She being banya find ni nyami bedi my plafond few eshima. There were no Matanyesha ke ni wachenya ke umanyenye lo sedi kwelo ke wo incoming president ni wo fe wo kweba ke kenye fe wo drumo ni nye wawo ni ke nye ke solemo pia wo se kuni yeli ba fe no ni be ba cha lutumo apa ni Nana Addo Akufo-Addo wo mahie nye no ntwe ne chewa ke wo ba panifaya ke kenyuma su ni mene manina wo e ba su ake dani e ba je nyemo hie Abekma West ne e ba e kenye ba national mofio ni ebi nyede jomo ni nye pai hu nye hale ni ke nyaunye ba fe wodromo ni nye kenye se bi hu avi nutumo ni wotuo wakemambi ni tuo wope wonye wofi wo Abekma West ne isablane ikeba ke it is possible work together efitai ni wo woko wake it is possible together eja ke wope wonye wotu ja nyawu nyekenye hiwale pia wose no wogmene eba na leshiake nye feale dromo nyekenye solemo achiese ni nye jole hu eja ke kenye wale lutumo ni wotuo eyemu no wo me wo ye hemo ke yeli ake poni nye ke mi enhie Ablikuma West ne ni da ke oshikifo de she nye unye wow ni kuni yeli fio wono poni nye fio nye hamda ye ba fe nye ha Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia hu afine no washida mi nke ba jinshi eja ke ili aka nye ni boni afiole ni won wo ke nusumo ni nye ke wo de ni modromo na mi ye mo ke ye ni aka watchu ni ani wonya me ebahi chi wa gbekona eye ko emu ehwe ko ni boni leke Nana Akufo-Addo enye for the past 16 years echosile nusumo eleheni echu amechu keshe ele noni ehwe ne kani isani le hu ekeftahi no wo ehemo ke le ni akenyeke hewale wede noni shefe ibafi ni le eke no ba fitahi ni won ma noni won ta wo ye ma mi ake shele mo ke no ya ke ko be fe mo aba fi wo no le hu ebe ba fi ko ni wo fe wona hise namo no wo ba pa o fai nye fai ake nye wa to mo boni nye wa da for the clergy and men and women of God, unless the Lord builds the house, the laborers labor in vain. You have always been with us in all our goings out and comings in. You've blessed us, you've washed us with prayer, you've supported us, and you have assured us that you have prayed for us, and so we will be the head and not the tail. And that has been my portion in this constituency. And I'm grateful that when we notified you that His Excellency the Vice President and by God's grace the incoming President of Ghana wanted to meet with you. It is possible. Yes, with God all things are possible. And He is the man of possibilities. When He urged us to put together the key opinion leaders in this constituency, and we reached out to you, you didn't hesitate. Despite the various time changes, you've come in your numbers to show that you appreciate the work that we're doing. You continue to support us in prayer. All I'll ask is that, as you've done for me in this constituency, do same for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And we don't know any God apart from Jehovah God. And He's the one in whom we have put our trust. And He has never ever failed us and will never fail us. He will never let us be confounded. And so we pray that you continue to support us in prayer. You continue to guide and direct us. You continue to counsel us. And we would also pay heed to your counsel. And so I'm thankful that you've come in your numbers. And He will speak Himself. But I know the manner in which you have handled me in this constituency and have made the path straight before me, even in the most difficult parts of the constituency. Victory has always been my portion here. And I know and believe that just as you've done for me, you will do for Dr. Bawumia too. So it gives me great pleasure at this juncture to introduce the man of the moment, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, our flag bearer.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Nime, Name, men and women of God, people of Ablikuma West who are here present. I am most grateful for you making the time to be with me today to listen to a few words that I have to say. I know that I've been told that some of you have been here since 11 sitting, and I must apologize for us not being here on time as we have gone through various meetings. That is a long time, so please accept our apology. I'm here in my capacity as the leader and flag bearer of the new patriotic party, and when I'm going around the country to meet with various constituencies to make a case for why I should be elected as president of the Republic of Ghana. And in every constituency I go to, I make sure I meet with the men and women of God in that constituency, meet with the chiefs also, because you are the critical stakeholders. As Celeste says, that unless the Lord builds the house, we would all labor in vain. And it's only God Almighty who selects leaders. And we know that when you speak as men and women of God, God listens. The chiefs, when you also speak, God listens. And so when I have the opportunity to meet you, I'm most honored and most privileged. This election, I believe, is a very critical election for this country. I think we stand at a major crossroads. And I believe that the choice is a very simple choice between two people. Myself, Dr. Bawumia, and the former president. Both these are the two leading candidates. Meaning no disrespect to the others, but we are the two leading candidates in all probabilities. One of us will be elected on the day. And so I am making my case for why it should be me. I believe that the former president has been president before. So we have been witnesses, all of us, to his work as president. We have all seen with our eyes and experienced what he did as president. We all know he told us when he was president at some point that the meat had all finished. It was left with only the bones. And that was the economy that he was dealing with at that time. And because we had the bones, they couldn't do much with it. So chalk in school was a problem. Teacher training allowances were abolished. Nursing training allowances were abolished. Couldn't buy fuel. Doom saw 4 years of doom saw. A lot of damage was done. Agricultural growth was declining, industrial growth, high unemployment. The National Health Service, the National Health Insurance Scheme, was basically had gone back to a cash and carry scheme. That was the nature, and you therefore couldn't cover much under it. You had to pay. You had the ambulance service had virtually collapsed, the National Ambulance Scheme. And just under those circumstances, that when we voted in 2016, we voted to take him out of office. And he was one of the first presidents who wasn't given a second term at the ballot box when he presented himself. And so now, at the time, we, the NPP, made the case that we wanted to come and bring in many new transformational policies for this country. And one of the key policies we campaigned on in 2016 was the free senior high school policy. Now, at the time, it sounded far-fetched. Free senior high school for everybody in Ghana. It was difficult. Everybody thought it was not possible. In fact, we were told by the former president that we're deceiving Ghanaians. It was a whimsical promise, and we were desperate. And if he had the money, he wouldn't do it. But we were very clear that for any country to move forward, it's education. Education is the key, ultimately, for transformation. And we felt that from where Ghana was, we needed to really step up and get many of our people educated if we are going to make that transformation. The impact of education is very long term. So the investments that we are making today may be felt in another 10 years. But they are very important investments. But when we said we will do it, when we came into office, I remember the president asking me if we can start it in 2017. And I said, yes, we can start it in 2017. The very first year we came in and we put it in the budget in 2017. And the last 8 years, we've had free senior high school education. Our parents are not paying any fees for the children. And it has made a very big impact. From independence to 2016, the enrollment in senior high school was 800,000. That is after 60 years of independence, 800,000. After 7 years of free SHS, it has gone up to 1.4 million. Right? So 60 years, 800,000. 7 years, 600,000. So, but that tells you that there were so many people who wanted to go but couldn't afford it. So suddenly, they are going. Some of my friends tell me that today, a lot of the middle class who are looking for maids in Accra are having difficulty. I'm sure you've also heard it. The parents have come and taken all of them and have gone to school. When we started free SHS, there were more boys than girls in senior high school. For every 100 boys, we had 68 girls. This is 7 years ago. Every 100 boys, there were 68 girls. 100 boys, 68 girls. Last year, the data showed that for every 100 boys in senior high school today, you have 106 girls. So the girls have come and overtaken the boys. And so you've attained gender parity. At the same time, the performance of the students has improved. The pass rate for the WACC in 2016 was 45%. And last year was 64%. The highest so far since WACC started was last year. That's the highest, 64%. And so we see that we've expanded the opportunities, but the performance has gone up. Many people were worried about quality. We thought quality will go down. That was the worry, but it hasn't. Of course, it is not without challenges, because as more people have gone in, we need more infrastructure and all of that. And those are challenges that we're dealt with. Today, the problem that existed with chalk is no more. The schools have enough chalk. But what is more important, that the schools are going digital. Today, we have bought tablets, computer tablets, and we are distributing to every single senior high schools. And all their textbooks, exam questions and everything is on the tablets. And the teachers have also now been given laptops. So teachers have laptops, students have tablets. We also have Wi-Fi in the senior high schools. So we are going digital. We've set up STEM schools, STEM model, STEM into the fourth industrial revolution. You can't wait. This is why we are making sure that the digital age does not surpass our students. We are the first country in the whole of Africa to issue tablets to all our senior high school. The first country in the whole of Africa to issue tablets to all of our students that we are doing. And we're doing the same thing for laptops to our teachers. But it's very important that they get that handle on that education. We've restored the teacher training allowances. We've restored the nursing training allowances. And we've even added free technical and vocational education to the free SHS. Because technical and vocational education is very critical for this age. Now it's all about skills. And so we've invested 6 billion Ghana cedis in the last 7 years in technical and vocational education. 6 billion, the highest investment ever in technical and vocational education. We've retooled the former technical, national and vocational technical institutes. We've retooled with state-of-the-art equipment, and we are building 32 new state-of-the-art technical and vocational institutes. 32. Because that is where, the skilled country is the country that will create more jobs. And so you need to prepare for that skills base for your country. And that is where we're going. One of the areas, of course, that I focused on when I became vice president was the digitalization area. Because I had written a book 14 years ago, before I became vice president. I wrote a book on monetary policy and in Africa, looking at Ghana also specifically in that book. This is 14 years ago, now 2010, that the book was published. And I was making a case that the world economy was moving into the digital age, and Africa has to get ready. Otherwise, we will be left behind. The world economy. And that's where it is going. And so when I became vice president, I quickly focused on putting Ghana into that, space where we would be competitive in the world economy. And so this is why I've been pushing very hard on some of the initiatives that we have implemented to get Ghana ready for the digital age. Many people did not see where we were headed. We pushed for the Ghana card to be issued. But that means, for any country to enter the digital world, you need identity for your citizens. We did not have an identity. Everybody had fake identities running around the place. You had a football age and you had a real age. The retirement age for one, a different one, you change. It was all over the place. But we said, let's issue this national ID card, which President Kufuor, in 2008, we passed the law. Well, we had not really made much progress in issuing the national ID card. Ghana has now issued the national ID card. 18 million cards issued. That is over 85% of the adult population of Ghana. And we are the leading country in the whole of Africa in the area of digital identity. We've issued 85% of our population, adult population. And we are not stopping there. We've now integrated the databases of the NIA with the Ghana Health Service and the Births and Deaths Registry. These 3 databases, because I was trying to solve the problem, abroad, when they give birth to a baby, you get the ID of that baby at birth. And that's what I wanted us to do in Ghana, so that you keep the whole track of everybody right from birth. So this is why we integrated the Ghana Health Service, where the baby is born, with the national ID, where the number is issued. But I also wanted one more thing, to get the birth certificate ID for the baby at the same time. So we brought these 3 databases together, and we have completed the work. So today, any hospital in Ghana, if you give birth to a baby, and you take the baby for weigh-in, we decided to wait for weigh-in because by that time you've outdoored the baby and you have the name of the baby. So once you take the baby for weigh-in today, in any hospital, they will give the baby 2 identities, the Ghana card ID and the birth certificate ID at the same time. At the same time. We are the only country in the world that I know of where this is happening. The whole world. I've looked around to see where else you get these 2 identities at the same time. National ID and birth certificate. So the digital thing has helped us. The Ghana card has also helped us find a lot of ghost workers. Because ghost workers are workers that don't really exist, but they collect pay. Right? So I said that, well, the only way you find ghost workers is to make sure we identify everybody on the payroll with their national ID. Because the ghosts don't have fingerprints. So when we did that, it was very interesting. National Service Scheme, we found 44,000 ghost workers. National Service Scheme, 44,000 ghost service personnel. We took them off, saving 350 million Ghana cedis. National Service. Then we went to SNIT. There were ghost pensioners. 29,000 ghost pensioners. Almost 400 million. 2 institutions alone, 750 million Ghana cedis. Just using the Ghana card. Then we went to the controller and accountant general, and we wiped out every ghost worker on the controller and accountant general database. And so Ghana can say today that we don't have ghost workers on our payroll. Just that Ghana. And we've now registered the Ghana card with the International Civil Aviation Organization in Montreal. We went through all the steps to validate it. And so the Ghana card is now recognizable and accepted in 44,000 airports and border points across the world. Across the whole world. So right now where we are, if you are outside the country and you lose your passport and you want to come back to Ghana, whether you are in China or America or Germany or Japan or Saudi Arabia or Cameroon, if you lose your passport, you can take your Ghana card and board any plane and come back to Ghana. We are the only country in Africa where you can do that. No other country has a digital ID that is going to be acceptable across. No other country has done that. And now, one of the good things, by the end of this year, the work is almost done. When you travel outside and you are coming back into Ghana, we are now going to introduce, Ursula was one of the champions of the e-gates. That didn't quite happen. We are having resurrected the e-gates. So when you arrive, if you have a Ghana card, you don't have to go to an immigration official. You just put your Ghana card there. It will open the gate for you, and off you enter into this country. This is where we are going. Last month, Singapore even started. They don't do passports anymore. They've started not doing passports in Singapore. You just go with your biometrics and you enter. The world is moving. And so with your Ghana card, you will be able to come. But they've started, at least for some passengers, you can enter Singapore and leave without a passport. So I did that. Then we looked at the next major thing was Ghana did not have an address system, as you all know. Only very few neighborhoods has street names and house numbers. Very few, but the whole of the country didn't have. I looked at, but this is very key. If you have any modern economy, you need an address system. If you go to the US, UK, Canada, wherever they've developed well, and you wipe out their addresses, their economies will collapse overnight, because you can't do much without an address. And so I looked at how we do an address system. The only way I could think of was digital property address. Leverage GPS technology to bring in digital addresses. And so Ghana, therefore, we decided to move into digital addressing. And now we have done digital addresses. Every property in Ghana, village or town, everywhere has a digital address. And so moving from one place or the other is now very, very simple. You know, just give me your digital address and I'll get to your home very, very quickly. And so Ghana is the second country in the whole world to implement a digital address system. The whole world. Then the third issue that we needed to address was the issue of financial inclusion. There were many people without bank accounts. Many people who could not transact financially because they didn't have bank accounts. Many people had mobile money accounts, but even those with Momo, you couldn't move money from MTN to Vodafone, or from Vodafone to Airtel, or from a bank account to a Momo account, or Momo account to a bank account. So you were just stuck with one telco. So we said we needed to bring in what we call mobile money interoperability to make sure everybody could get access to financial inclusion. Many people thought we couldn't do it because no country in Africa had done it. No country. I said it is possible. And we have done mobile money interoperability. And that has essentially given a bank account to everybody. You can move money from your bank account to your Momo account, from a Momo account to another account. I mean, we are the first country in the whole of Africa to do this. You stay at home with your mobile money, with your Momo mobile phone, you renew your national health insurance. You pay your child's school fees. Most people don't even go to the banks anymore. They don't remember the last time they went to the bank because you can do all your banking on your mobile phone today. And this is the transformation we have brought. And Ghana is the only country in Africa that has 100% financial inclusion. 100%. We are the only. Amongst all countries in Africa. Means anybody who wants to have a bank account can have it. Because Momo account is just a bank account. So everybody is financially included. 100% access to financial inclusion. And we are very proud of that record. We've made sure that the health records, you remember some time ago you could go to a hospital and they'll tell you your folder was missing. You remember that? Yes, and we said no. Let us digitalize all the health records and make them all digital. We've digitalized all the teaching hospitals, all the regional hospitals, and all the district hospitals. By next year, we'll finish up to the CHIPS compounds. But today, if they refer somebody from Wa to Kolebu, they don't need to come with a folder. They just need to come with their ID. The doctor will put it in the computer and all their records will appear. We are the only country in Africa who has done this. The only country. I decided that we bring drones into Ghana. Drones to deliver medicines to the rural areas. For those of us in Accra, we don't see this problem. But you can be in a rural area, a mother is giving birth and needs blood very, very urgently. A snake has bitten somebody on the farm. They need anti-stray snake serum very urgently. The ambulance cannot get there in time. When my father died very sadly in 2002, and he had an operation and he needed blood, and the blood bank was locked. I was there. We rushed. We couldn't get. It was the evening. The man had locked the blood bank and gone home, and we were looking around. Many calls he didn't pick up. By the morning, my father had died. It was very painful. So when in 2018, I heard about this technology, that an American company had this technology where the drones could go and deliver blood, deliver medicines, deliver vaccines, all of this. The blood was the one that kicked my destiny. And I said, well, I need to get this technology to Ghana. So I got a team and we went to San Francisco and went to meet this company. And I said, look, we need this technology in Ghana, come and set up. And they've set up 6 centers here. And we are delivering medicines to 2,694 health centers. Every day, average flights about 100 from each center. They've done 540,000 flights so far, and they are saving lives every day. Recently, Afram Plains was shut out because of flooding, and the children had to write BC. The exam questions were dropped by drones to the students to write their exams. But what is interesting is that Ghana today is the whole world's largest medical drone delivery service. The whole world, Ghana is leading in drone delivery. The whole world. Recently, the US Vice President, Kamala Harris, I don't know if you heard her recently, she talked about Ghana and was praising Ghana in taking the lead as far as medical drone delivery was concerned. And now they are going to start it in the US. They are going to start it in the US. And they are also going to start it in the United Kingdom. But Ghana is already where they are coming to learn from. So we've been doing all of these things, many things in addition, to put Ghana in a very, very good position in this digital world that we are going into. I am running for president because I really believe that it is possible for Ghana to be an advanced country, for us to do what the advanced countries are doing. There's nothing rocket science about it. By the grace of God, if you make me president, I have a number of priorities. Agriculture will be my number 1 priority. I believe greatly in the application of technology to help our farmers and capital to help our farmers can really expand production and bring down food prices. Food prices are too high. And the only way we do bring it down sustainably is to expand production. So irrigation and putting together agricultural enclaves and support of the farmers and district mechanization centers. So far we've sent equipment for roads to every district. We are going to do the same for agricultural equipment so that our farmers in the farming districts will have access to equipment which they can hire to farm at any time that they need. So this is going to be one. The second priority I'm going to look at is bringing down the cost of electricity that we have in Ghana, the cost of power. Because right now power is relatively expensive because we import oil to generate electricity, gas to generate electricity. I want Ghana to take the bold decision to move away from oil and gas and focus on solar power to generate electricity for Ghana. Solar power for me holds the key. The good Lord has given us the sun for free. It's shining every day, and we can, we have the technology to harness that solar, that sun for power. I want to add 2,000 megawatts in the next 4 years of solar power. And I believe that all the numbers show that we will be able to bring down the cost of power by 50% to our population. And that is going to be very, very important for all the small businesses, the barbers, the hairdressers, the electricians, and so on, and for our homes. I think it will be very, very, very important. The third thing I'm proposing is to look at public transport and to bring down the cost of public transport. Right now, we think that the cost is too high, but it's too high because the key elements of the cost of public transport are the fuel and the spare parts. So I want public transportation in Ghana to move towards electric vehicles. Electric vehicles is the way forward, very environmentally friendly, very low cost, and you don't have spare parts to worry about for the most part. And the numbers that we see tell us that we are going to be able to reduce the cost of public transportation by about 40%. That if we bring in electric vehicles across. So we're working with all the metro masses and the VIPs and the state transport and so on to bring in these buses. Before the end of this year, we are trying to bring in, to do a pilot of 100 electric vehicles in Accra, electric buses. So that is what we are hoping the buses will come in, so that people will see exactly what we are talking about and see how we are going to bring down the cost of public transport. So that is going to be very, very important as we do. The third major thing I want to do is to change the tax system that we have. I believe that our tax system is very complicated and it results in a lot of conflict and dispute between businesses and the GRA and so on. And I want a very simplified tax system. The simpler the tax system, the easier it is to comply with, easier for government to collect, and you can broaden it. We looked at what is the best tax system in the world. The last 10 years, there's one country which keeps being adjudged as having the best tax system in the world. That is Estonia. So I took my team and we went to Estonia. And we went to look at them. And their tax system is what is called a flat tax system. If it's 10%, it's 10% for everybody. It's a very simple system. Actually, when I went there and I understood it, I said, well, this is the way tithe is played in church. It looks like the church has already figured this out a long time ago. It's very simple. Everybody knows how much tithe they have to pay. You don't need any accountant to calculate it for you, right? You just need to calculate 10% of something, isn't it? So it's very simple, but that is essentially what the tax system in Estonia is. And they were able to really broaden the tax and get acceptability and all of that. And that is the system I want to bring into Ghana. And next year, to start the tax system afresh, I want everybody to start on a clean slate. So we are bringing in a tax amnesty for every business and every individual, and we'll all start on a clean slate next year. Then I want to bring this flat tax regime to the ports. The port regime is also complicated for businesses bringing in goods. It's very difficult dealing with the customs, because you never know how much your tax, your import duty is going to be calculated as. So I want a flat tax in cities. In cities. Right, so if you bring one, so it's very simple. So you will have, say, a spare parts dealer, you're bringing a 40-footer container of spare parts. We will say, okay, spare parts category, 40-footer is 20,000 cedis. That is it. So before you import, when the good arrives, nothing changes. You pay your 20,000 cedis, and that is it. If it's chicken, you'll say, okay, for chicken, maybe one 40-footer or 20-footer it's 15,000 cedis or 10,000 cedis or whatever. It's very simple. So that is what you will pay. You know it before the goods arrive. It's not when they arrive, they say, oh, it's getting late change today, so go and pay this more. And then you have to go and increase the price in the market. Everything is unpredictable. I want predictability and stability in this. And with that, you have less room for corruption. Because it's very simple. Everybody knows what they have to pay. And when the goods are coming, government also knows how much is due to us. And the whole process will be very digital. And so we will know. And so I believe that the flat rate in cities will be very, very important. The other part of the import duty regime that we want to make sure is that we benchmark against Togo. Many people think Togo, there are no import duties. There are import duties in Togo. Don't make no mistake about that. There are. But what we want to make sure is that Ghana, our duty shouldn't be higher than Togo's. Otherwise, smuggling will go through Togo into Ghana. So we will benchmark against Togo. We can be lower, but we shouldn't be higher. So that is how we are going to deal with this issue. The third major and probably one of the most important policies that I want to introduce is to anchor our city to gold so that we have stability in the currency. We discovered, this idea came up during the crisis. I was speaking about it yesterday at the Meet the Press that I held yesterday. In 2022, we had a major crisis. The exchange rate was depreciating by 54% as of November. Ghana was losing foreign exchange reserves because in the past we were able to go and borrow on the international markets. But because the international markets were shut out, we didn't have that access. So all we could see was our foreign exchange reserves were coming down. And then we had nightmares. I was like, Ghana is going to become like Sri Lanka because very soon, if you have no reserves, you can't buy a fuel. You have queues on your street. You have doomsday and all of that. So I was, having sleepless nights about what was happening. How are we going to fix this problem? And then it struck me that, well, even though we don't have forex in the bank, we have gold. And gold is forex. So we could use our gold to pay for oil so that we don't get all these fuel shortages and doomsday and all of that. And the oil companies were very happy. And this is how we introduced gold for oil. And then I asked the Bank of Ghana to try and purchase a lot of gold. Because the gold we can buy with cedis. You don't have to export cocoa before you buy the gold. We have billions of ounces of gold, which have not even yet been explored. In the last 2 years, the Bank of Ghana has bought $5 billion of gold. Can you imagine? $5 billion. We are looking for a loan for $3 billion from the IMF over 3 years. And look at the hoops that we have to go through. But for that gold purchase program, Ghana would have been in trouble. Because where would we have gotten the $5 billion? Just think about it. We would have had a big challenge. So, having tested this model, and recently, the Minister of Communications will know one companies wanted to transfer about 3 billion Ghana cedis out of Ghana to pay. They were having challenges. And then, they came to see me how the Bank of Ghana was saying, no, we don't have that much forex for one company and all of that. And I said, so I asked them, what about gold? Would you take, if you give us your cedis, we can take it to buy gold. Is it, the gold is forex? They said, oh, no problem. So we took their cedis, 3 billion, we bought gold, and their problem was solved. So then he said to me, now this is the way forward for Ghana. We have to then anchor our currency with gold. Because anybody who is demanding forex. We can get your cedis and buy gold, then give you your forex. You don't have any shortage in forex anymore. So this is what I want us to institutionalize going forward, so that we can keep the value of the currency very stable. And this is a major change. Many of the news organizations are reporting it internationally. They don't seem to quite understand it. They think I'm paying the value of the cedi to gold. No, I'm just saying that bring your cedis, we'll buy the gold and give you your forex. That's that simple. It's not complicated. We are going to keep our cedi stable because we will have an anchor to that cedi, and that is gold. And so it's a very, very, very simple framework that we are going to implement. But it took the crisis to bring this idea to the table. And I believe that it's going to serve Ghana very, very, very well going forward. I want to also bring the chieftaincy institution and the churches and faith-based institutions closer to government. I think Ghana has, since independence, made a big mistake that we have kept the chiefs away from governance. And I think we've lost a big, big ally in the governance of this country. And I think it is time to draw the chiefs closer to government. And so I want us to amend Section 63 of the Chieftaincy Act so that the chiefs have a bit more in the terms of powers to help the government. There are many cases that can be resolved in your palaces that don't have to come to court to clog the court system, but they end up in court, and we can do a lot in there. At the moment, to be able for you to help us, we are proposing that we have to resource the chiefs. At the moment, we only pay the paramount chiefs, and it's not a lot. So we are proposing living wages, not only for the paramount chiefs, but for the queen mothers and the divisional chiefs. The divisional chiefs and the queen mothers, as well as the paramount chiefs, so that we can lift up the chieftaincy institution. We also want to codify the lines of succession to each stool and to each skin, because there's too much confusion. And so a lot of times people who are not entitled want to become chiefs. So we'll work with the Judicial Council of the House of Chiefs so that the lines of succession for all stools and skins in Ghana will be codified and digitalized, and that everybody knows that this is the line of succession, so that we don't have confusion in that area. I believe that I want to redesignate the churches and faith-based institutions as development partners. That designation, because if you look at the schools, the hospitals, and other development in related initiatives that the churches and faith-based institutions make, it's too massive. If you want to talk about a partner of government for the development of the country, the churches and faith-based institutions are number one. It's not our external development partners. They are the number one in our development of this country. If you take their schools away, their hospitals away, the country will collapse. It's that simple. So, but you know, when our external development partners come to build a school or a hospital, we say, external development partners, you don't pay duty. But when a church wants to do the same, you have to pay duty. I'm changing it and saying you will also become development partners, and you don't have to also pay duty if you are coming to do development projects. Because sometimes you can get assistance actually. Someone will say, I want to donate this equipment to you. I want to build this church, this school for you. You know, if you're bringing in that equipment or those materials, you know, it's for developing of this country, and we will designate you as development partners, and you will be entitled to those benefits that development partners are also entitled to. I hope, all of us have heard about the issue of LGBTQ+, where men are supposed to be able to marry men and women are supposed to be able to marry women. Under a Bawumia presidency, it is not allowed. That practice will not be accepted. It is not accepted. It will never be accepted. It is not consistent with the Bible. It's not consistent with the Quran. It's not consistent with our tradition. It's not consistent with our values. We will not allow it today. We will not allow it tomorrow. We will not allow it ever. We will not allow it. No matter the cost. And there will probably be cost. But we will bear the cost to protect our society, protect our values. We will bear the cost, whatever it is. So we have to be clear, and everybody has to be clear on this particular issue. No compromise. There will be no compromise. The persons with disabilities under my government will go for tertiary education for free. Persons with disabilities will go. They have so much intellect, but a lot of the time you can imagine they have major challenges financially to getting tertiary education, and we will get them for free. And also, when government is recruiting, we are going to set a quota for persons with disabilities so that we get them into the workforce to be able to work. And I'm also going to focus on special needs education. We are hiring 1,000 special needs teachers to teach them a lot, and also focus on physiotherapy and occupational therapy for people with special needs. It is an area that Ghana, we have neglected for a long time. And so we need to focus on special needs to be able to get things done for that segment of the population. There's a major policy that I want to bring, which we are bringing, which changes Ghana in a major way. If you look at what happens in the advanced countries, they have what is called a credit system. You know, when they have to buy something, if it's a fridge, a TV, they'll buy it and pay small over time, isn't it? If it's a car, they'll buy it and pay small. In Ghana, to buy anything, you have to look for cash. It's cash down before you buy anything. And so life is hard because everything is cash. If you want a house, someone abroad, you'll pay it over 30 years. Mortgage. You will have to look for money to build it yourself, or go and buy it fully cash. So life tends to be much harder if you are a teacher here versus a teacher in the UK. Even if you are paid the same amount, they will be able to consume more than you because they have a credit system. So when I wrote this book on our monetary policy regime and so on 14 years ago, I made that case that Ghana needs to put in place what would bring about a credit system as opposed to the cash system that we have. Why they have that credit system overseas in many of the advanced countries is because they have made three major things. They have unique identity, they have an address system, and they have bank accounts. Everybody is included financially. So that is what we set about starting to do in Ghana. We now have the Ghana card, the unique identity. We now have the digital address system is there. And now with the mobile money interoperability, we have the bank accounts for virtually everybody. So the good news is that Ghana is now ready to introduce a credit system like what they have in the developed countries. We are now ready because what it requires is for us to do credit scoring. You do credit scoring with databases and we now have all those databases so that each individual with a Ghana card will have a credit score. So if you are someone who, your score shows you can pay, you will get the credit. But maybe your score is bad, you won't get the credit if you can't pay. But it brings discipline. You see what I mean? It brings discipline. You have to be careful. If you borrow, you have to pay. Otherwise, your credit score will go bad. So, by the grace of God, before the end of this year, because the work has been completed, before the end of this year, before we vote, Ghana will start moving into credit scoring before the end of this year. And when we do that, we will be the second country in sub-Saharan Africa. The only country that does credit scoring with the credit system is South Africa. We will be the second country after South Africa. And we're going to introduce this before the end of this year. And I'll be launching it very, very soon. So these are some of the major areas that I want to do. One of the areas also, let me mention two other areas. Passport application is going to be one of the most easiest thing now going forward under my presidency. Today, to apply for a passport, you have to fill the passport form, bring documents, and all of that to the passport office. But when you think about it, all the information that you require on the passport form is on your Ghana card. You are duplicating information. So under my presidency, we are not going to collect information twice. Since it's on the Ghana card, if you want the passport, just pay a fee and we'll print the passport for you. That's all. You don't have to print any other form. Just pay the fee. And because your biometrics are there, we have it. Your picture is there, so we can print your passport for you. It's very simple. That is where Ghana is going. The driver's license also now is valid for 6 years, and you have to renew every 2 years. I'm moving it, the validity to 10 years, and you renew every 5 years. And then we will have simplicity in that regard. There are many things, of course, I'm not going to be able to mention everything, but I want to make life easier for our people. I want to train I'm focused on jobs. My whole manifesto is focused on jobs. How we can raise the job situation in Ghana. I want to train 1 million youth in digital skills. I want to really push the manufacturing, the whole sanitization of the mining area, Galamsey, to help the miners, give them proper information. At the moment, they are doing trial and error, digging everywhere and ruining our environment. We are going to use Geological Survey Department. They will tell us exactly where the gold is. We'll say, go here, and this is how you're going to mine, and this is the common user facility. When you mine, we'll replant and do this, so that you don't have to go everywhere, and we'll license the process. We are going to change so much, and we're going to create jobs, creative arts, in the tourism and so on. So these are some of the areas that I believe that we are going to make a major transformation in Ghana. I need your help. I need your support. My competitor can only come and be president for 4 years. And he wants to go for a honeymoon before he comes to start work. But he can only be president for 4 years. 4 years. I, on the other hand, by the grace of God, I can be president for 8 years. 8 years. So if we vote for him for 4 years, he doesn't have to go for another election. He doesn't have to come back to Ablekuma West to account for what he has done. Because it is bye-bye, he won't see you again. But as for me, if you vote for me, I will come back again to account to you for what I have done. You say, but what happened? You said you would do this, you haven't done it. So I'll work very hard. If you vote for me, I'll work very hard to deliver, so that when I come back in 4 years, you will say, Bawumia, Twaso, Twaso, Twaso. And then I will go. So the point as I conclude, is that I have never been president before. I've never been president. I've just been vice president. All the work I've done has been as vice president. But I want you to vote for me to become president. If you vote for me, you will get a brand new tear rubber president. Brand new tear rubber president. I'll come with new ideas, new vision, new innovations, new solutions to our problems. But as for my opponent, we have seen him before. If we vote for him, you'll be voting for a second-hand president. So, do you want brand new or you want second-hand? Do you want brand new or second-hand? Do you want brand new or second-hand? Then vote for Dr. Bawumia and vote for Ursula Owusu Akufo, and we'll go forward. Thank you very much. God bless.